Finally got the right belt. I'm going to show you what this thing sounds like, because it sounds horrible. Guys, a quick little view of how low this voltage gets. Like really, really low. We drop down to 11. I'm pretty sure it's the stock alternator, and it's got 63,730 miles. So the stock alternators lasted pretty well with this smaller pulley, but she's cooked, guys. Alternator has left the chat. Today we're going to be doing the KMJ Alternator upgrade. Comes with this little KMJ fuse, 200 amp. It comes with a couple wires. I already took my old alternator out. It's pretty small. So you got a clearance out the bracket that holds on the alternator. I'll go ahead and show you guys a picture of what that looks like, because I already did it and I already put it back in the car. So pop up a picture of what that looks like real quick. There's a bunch of videos on how to do this, how to take your battery out, take your tray out, you know, remove the old alternator, clearance the bracket, and it's all very simple. Besides, you know, what I'm on right now is pretty hard. Putting the new alternator in is a lot bigger than the old alternator, so it's going to be a little hard to finagle it up there. Put this top bolt in for the alternator. Once you get it in there, you might need to loosen this lower alternator bracket down here, this one right here my finger's on, just so you can get the new alternator up, because it's so big. There's two bolts on it. There's one like right around here somewhere, and there's one right up here. Just loosen them up just enough so you can pivot this bottom one around, so you can get this new alternator up in here, because it's very tight, guys. It's probably the hardest part, is getting that new alternator up in there, because it's so big. This one's going to be a little bit bigger, and it's going to be a little bit harder, but it's pretty simple. And the new wiring, I'll go over that. I don't really know what's going on with this right here. This is my old ground, where it's got a bigger wire upgrade to it. These wires aren't as big as this. This looks like a 0 gauge ground. Yeah, I don't really like this, the way these grounds are just tied up against this right here. Might figure out something to do with that later, but for now it's just gonna chill like that, I guess. I'll go over the wiring real quickly with you guys after this alternator's up in here. It's better if you just loosen this top bracket. You don't gotta take it all the way out. Right there, just so it's loose and it can slide back and forth, so you can pivot this bottom one. Take that one out, release enough so you can pivot this bracket and move it so it's out of the way, because this right here, this nub hits it when you're trying to stick it back in here. There's not much space right here because of that. Alright, I got it up in there, and as you can see, it is a very, very tight fit. Unless you can loosen this bracket, it's the only way you can get it in. The way I did it is I put it back in first, and I got it up in there. As soon as the pulley started hitting on this, trying to spin it, I pushed it more forward against these hoses. Push it more forward, you can pivot it more on like an angle, and slide it up in there, and then pivot it back so it's facing straight forward again. It's so tight up here, So the only way you can get it is if you really like maneuver these hoses and try to push it forward and then spin it at an angle and then push it up in there. Alrighty boys, got this in pretty good. Tighten this down a little bit. I like to do the top bolts first, get them pretty tight, and then go down below, get the bottom ones in, and tighten those. But this thing is in there now. I'm gonna go back down, tighten them as much as I can. They're pretty tight right now, but I'm just going to tighten as much as I can now because they're in there. And this is about wrapping it up. Just need to do the wiring for it now. It's all in place. Everything's back. Alrighty guys, there's a few ways to wire this thing. I know there's like a harder way where you can make the old wiring pretty much obsolete. Here's the old wiring down here. This just goes right on the alternator bolt. Right here on the power where it's red. And this plugs in to the new plug that's supplied on the alternator. Right here. There's a few ways to do it, but I think I'm going to do it the easier way and just put this wire on there and then put the new wire over top of it. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. That's one of the power wires. This is where it gets kind of confusing to me, so I'm trying to go slow and simple as possible. One of the black wires is right there already on the frame over to the engine mount right there. Just unbolt those two bolts, put one of the bigger black wires right there. That's one of them. So you already seen where one of the grounds goes. It replaces the one that's on the bottom on the frame rail to the engine mount. This is the next one. It goes from your power cable. You tie it into this, put it on this, wrap it around, and go straight to this bolt right here. Take that stud nut off, slide it on there, put that stud nut back on. It's pretty simple for the grounds. The power wire, you can put your old power wire back on. That's how I'm doing it. It's really simple that way. On the alternator that came off, put the new one on, slide it on there, put them both on, tie it down, bring it up to the fuse, tie it in with the fuse, and then go straight to the fuse box off the second smaller wire. Use the long wire, the longer power wire, to go down and loop around, because Ken, the guy that owns KMJ, wants the power wire facing down so there's no rubbing on the back of this, because if you rub on the back of it with the power wire, it'll short out the car and probably start a fire, he says. So you want that wire facing downward. That's why he gives you a longer one. And you want to swoop it around, bring it up to your little fuse box, put it up here somewhere, and take that shorter wire supplied right into the fuse box and tie it on right here, where all the rest of these are tied on. I just took off the frame rail to engine mount ground, and it was sandwiched in between these two nuts, so I just snipped it off in between there. And I'm just going to slide the new ground on like that. This is the power wire, but I'm just going to slide it on like that and screw it down that way, since it was sandwiched on in there. Alright guys, this is the most confusing part. I'm starting to lose daylight because I was fighting with this thing. But this thing right here, on the back of this, it came with a little red nub on it. And if you got that little red nub and you got the big 3-wire kit too, you want to snip that nub off. I just messaged Ken and he said he messed up and gave me the one with the nub, because I guess that's for the ones without the big 3-wire kit. But this one's got it, so I put that big 3 on first, then I put my old wiring for the alternator on top of it and snug that down as far as it can go. And it's got to be up against that nut on the back of this thing. When you have those nubs on both sides, it kind of protrudes it. So this is where the other big ground goes, straight to that engine mount, straight to this frame over here. I got it just behind this red wire there. So it's grounded from the frame to the engine mount, and it's got to go from the back of this alternator up here, and it's going to go up up top here, put this wire into the fuse, the 200 amp fuse, and then the small wire from the 200 amp fuse to the fuse box. Alright guys, the only other ground wire besides the one to the frame to the engine mount is this one right here. It goes to this front top bolt on the alternator, the stud. Let's put it behind there, it goes straight to your negative battery terminal. And I had some trouble with this fuse on here. As you can see, it's not really a good spot for it to sit right there, so I just wire tied it as best I could to keep it from hitting anything hot. And I kind of messed up my box. You can see it's coming apart down here. It was already kind of coming apart at the bottom down here, and I kind of just messed it up even more trying to take this nut off this fuse box. Bro's grinding his exhaust on the ground. Pretty wild. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I kind of messed up my box, so my headlights stopped working. I'll show you guys real quick. My headlights are on right now, but they're not coming on because I separated the fuse box. But I'll go and mess with the fuse box real quick. See, so I tried putting a piece of duct tape on there so I can hold the box shut. But I don't know what to do. My dude coming through. That was random. Yeah, these my headlights are fucked, so I gotta fix that somehow. And besides that, alternator went great. Not really too hard to do that. Just the two grounds, the two power wires which connect to each other in the fuse, and they go straight to the fuse box, and just connect everything back up the way it was. And it's all good. It runs good voltage now. No more low voltage, boys. Steady around 14 now. And everything's good. Got my new belt on, it doesn't squeak anymore. My fan started acting up for some reason, and there's this plug on this other side. It started overheating. This plug right here has 3 pins in it, and 2 of my pins were sitting down, like pushed down inside the socket, and they weren't popping up inside the pin holder like they're supposed to go on the other side of the plug. So I sprayed some mass airflow sensor cleaner inside the plug, cleaned it out, looked real good, and pulled the pins forward, and then reconnected it, and it started working again. So if you're having any fan problems with your fan, check that plug first, because those pins, it seems like it's a common problem with those pins. If they get stuck down, they push down, and they don't make a contact like they're supposed to in the other side of the prong. So check that, guys, if your fan's acting up. But besides that, car's running great now. It's not having no more overheating problems, no more electrical issues now that I got my new alternator on. And it took me like 2-3 days. It's about 3 days to get it all right, because I was messing with this today. So yeah, it's all good now. I just need to figure out a way to sandwich this back together, because this bottom down here is coming down. As you can see, I'm messing with it a little bit. I just need to push it up like that, and my headlights will start working again. So that's about it, guys. That's KMJ alternator install for you guys. Pretty simple. I was watching videos on it, and I thought it was pretty hard because of all the wiring, and I'm not really good with that. So it turned out all right, though. Wasn't too bad once you get the understanding of it. To dig the crap out of this box to hold it together. Wrapped it around a couple times around the whole entire box. Yeah, be careful not to twist it, because you will snap this box, and it's very, very fragile. So let's see if the headlights work again. They're working. A little duct tape job did the trick. So just be careful with that, guys. Try not to split your box or bend it or anything crazy, because that will happen to you. I might, you know, fix this later on. I don't really like it the way it is, but for that to be fixed, you probably got to take this whole fuse panel apart and all that, and I don't feel like doing that right now. I just got done working on this thing. It took me like 2.5 days to get this alternator in there, get all this work done to it, so it's been draining me. My hands are all beat up, you know, so she's all good now though. It was starting to overheat a little bit, spitting out this cap because my fan wasn't working, but I messed with that little prong over there and it started working again, so it stays pretty low now. It stays around like 180. That's what it's supposed to be at. And before, when the fan wasn't working, it started overheating. So if you guys have intermittent heating problems, might be your fan, make sure that fan's working. And I got my new belt on, no more belt squeak. Thing sounds good, it runs great. Now the new voltage is up higher. I can really tell it doesn't really bog as much, and not really too many problems with it now. Yeah, it sounds really good. I was driving it all today after I got all this work done. I guess the next things I want to get on is getting the front suspension done. I'm going to get my bump steer kit in, my new ball joints, and get an alignment on the front end. Maybe after that I'll get my new exhaust like I was planning on doing, get my new muffler swapped in there, but it all takes time. Can't really just, you know, do it all at once, so just one thing at a time. I got the biggest problems done with. Since it's my daily driver, it's the most important things to get done, so in time things will start getting better after I get all this maintenance stuff done. I want to get a new fuel filter too, because I haven't changed the fuel filter since I got this, and I changed the oil twice already, so I put like 5,000 miles on the car and I haven't changed the fuel filter. So that's the next things I want to do, is ball joints, bump steer kit, alignment, fuel filter. So I appreciate all you guys watching this video, checking out what's going on with the car, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.